51 weeks a year, Oklahoma is known as the 45th largest state in the country, the birthplace of Route 66. It's often nicknamed the oil capital of the world and the heart of Tornado Alley. But 1 week a year, the 400,000 people of Tulsa roll out the red carpet for thousands of racers and fans for a little storm of their own called the Chili Bowl. Nearly 300 drivers from 29 states, 3 countries, and all forms of motorsports will fight for one of the coveted 24 starting positions in the A feature. It takes 5 days of non-stop, heart-pounding, wheel-to-wheel action to set the starting lineup, with only one coming out victorious tonight. The mighty Midgets are always a thriller, but none bigger than the battle for the Golden Driller. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Lucas Oil Chili Bowl presented by General Tire. We're here at the Quick Trip Center in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
I'll tell you right now, we have all the hoopla, the fans are cheering. I've been here 21 times, and right now this is really a bittersweet moment. This event is nearly come to conclusion. You sit around people who you see only once a year, and all of a sudden you're ready to say goodbye to them and look forward to 2009.
The fans are ready to go. They have the goggles on, some of them with the mask on. We're going to show you our starting grid here for the prestigious 22nd running of the Chili Bowl. And we'll go with the front row, Josh Ford and Damian Gardner.
Row 2 is the 71 of Brad Kuhn. To the outside, the master, Dave Darland.
In row 3, it'll be the 7F of Aaron Fiskus and the 05S of John Standrow.
Row 4, we see Jason Leffler to the inside. To the outside, one of the favorites, Jerry Coons Jr.
Dropping back to row 5, it'll be 1ST, Shane Cottle the throttle, alongside 16-year-old Cole Witt.
Row 6 is Casey Kane in the 91, alongside 67, Brian Clausen.
Let's go back to row number 7. That's where you'll find the number 20, Tony the Smoke Stewart. 39, Kevin Swindell, right alongside.
Row 8 is Bobby Mishnowitz, outside 21, Tracy Hines.
And in row 9, Jesse Hockett with the 29L, and he'll line up alongside Terry McCarl, who's done a lot of work here tonight.
Row 10 now, deep in the field, Davey Ray in the 33. To the outside, his teammate, 67A, Bubba Altig.
In row 11, it'll be Brady Bacon in the 99 and the 20J of Levi Jones.
And the last row 12, Billy Weiss alongside another number 12, Nathan High. Let's hear from Rob.
Well, guys, Aaron Fiskus right here out of the great state of Wisconsin getting ready for a big Chili Bowl. Amen, man. What are we going to see inside row number 3?
Yeah, hopefully we're going to get her done here. Got to thank everybody at home. They're out there watching me, rooting me on. Kind of an underdog here. We're going to get out there and run with the big boys and see what we can do.
Aaron Fiskus, guys, got a good starting spot. He will move up to the front for sure. The Wisconsin, the Badger driver, big fan favorite here tonight.
Well, the fans, they just are none greater. You know, we saw the gentleman there with the breast enhancements. I don't think those cost $2,000 to $4,000 to $6,000. You know, I think you probably just go down and buy those for anywhere for, you know, a couple bucks. So.
I'm just thinking that poor guy, his mom might be watching this show.
Let's go to Matt.
Ken, all night long we've talked about second and third generation racers, and one man that's probably the busiest gentleman here all week at the Chili Bowl is Roger Slack from York, Ontario. Now, as a young kid, he was 10 years old. He was flagging go-kart races. His dad was a racer. His grandfather owned a racetrack, Cayuga, up in Canada. Now, one day he was standing atop a hauler. He was 14 years old, and he was with his flags, flagging modifieds. And Glenn Donnelly, legendary promoter at Rolling Wheels, said, you know what? He's already flagging, just playing around. Let's put him up in the flag stand. 19 years he's been a professional flagman. And oh yes, by the way, this week, he was on vacation. What's his normal job? He's vice president of events at the Lowe's Motor Speedway in North Carolina.
They give these guys a few hot laps. It looks like they're going to work the track in a little bit. And keep in mind, we talked about it before, some of these guys have not raced since Wednesday night.
And the other thing, Ken, and I want Larry to touch on this a little bit, how difficult is it going to be with this changing racetrack?
It's going to be very difficult. They put a lot of water on that racetrack. That's one of the reasons they're letting them kind of hot lap, because it looked a little slimy, as we saw when Rob was down there putting his finger on it. There was water on top. So they want to get some of that water off of there. But it's going to go from very tight to very slick. 50 laps is the longest race they run here, twice as long as any other race they run here all week long. So by the end, and most of the guys, you heard Tony Stewart talk about it, Casey Kane, that you got to set it up for the last 15 or 20 laps, not the first 15 or 20. And if you go backwards for a few laps, you've got to be patient and wait till the racetrack comes to you.
And that looks like Bubba Altig right off the bat. Unfortunately for him, looks like issues here in the hot laps.
He may have slid up and hit that barrier right there in turn 3. He's awfully close to it. I can't imagine they would have just pushed him over there.
Yeah.
Well, you can see kind of like the hay has been destroyed a little bit there. So it could be in the entry of turn 1 as well. There are 2 opens there.
You wonder if he got into the greasy stuff and just pushed right up in there.
That's exactly what happened. It was so wet up there, he got up there and just pushed into the greasy stuff and almost came to a stop.
Well, guys, Bubba Altig very upset, obviously out of tonight's Chili Bowl, very distraught as he cruises back to the pit area. Said he didn't want to talk right now. He didn't have the words to say, so unfortunately, Bubba Altig will not make the call for tonight's Chili Bowl.
And that's when I don't want to be a pit reporter, because it's such a tough thing to do. You want to hear from that guy, but he's embarrassed. He feels terrible right now.
And it's pretty cool to see his family walking with him like that. You know, you make a mistake, you're human. It happens all the time.
Absolutely.
You got to be with him and just get his chin up. Hey, it happens.
Well,
get over it and move right on.
You said it best. It happens to everybody. So the only thing you can do is take a little time and get over it. Just take a little bit of a little comfort in the fact that it does happen to everybody at some point in time.
And you know, Ken, right now you got kind of a Times Square midnight feeling here, because the pace laps ticking off. They're going to go 4 wide in a minute. Everybody is standing in this place. The energy just about to blow the roof off of it. And you know, we're just moments away from the start of this race.
You know, modern midget racing really started in 1933. And over the course of history, there have been races conducted in front of bigger crowds, particularly around World War II. There have been some races for some bigger money, but there is no question that this is the biggest midget race, if not short track race in America right now. It has grown to that stature.
Yeah, Ken Brenneman and Hap, we have those guys to thank back in the day who got together in 1932 and kicked off the first one in 33. And then, of course, we had the National Midget Championships that came together back in 1947. So these cars have quite a history, and known for the longest of times as the Mighty Midgets, because they'll come to little bull rings like this indoors and put on just a spectacular show.
And of course, the very first national midget event that was held at Brainbridge, Ohio, was won in a car that was built and owned by Wally Pankratz' father, and his daughter Randy was a competitor here this weekend.